Hello, THP. It's Manses here, aka Roger, aka a lot of other bad things. I was asked to keep a recap video short, so I'll definitely try to keep it under, 45 minutes. But in all seriousness, hopefully I can keep this under 5 and move on. I got a clock ticking above me, so I feel like Mission Impossible right now. I'm obviously Tom Cruise in this situation. Anyway, got home. I'm in Oakland, back in the friendly confines of the mansion, and just surreal. The entire experience overall it's surreal. As good as everyone thinks it is from home, sitting in the sidelines like myself, it's better. Like and not just like, oh, it's a little better. Like it's the atmosphere, the camaraderie of your team, and even the camaraderie with the Callaway guys, because all of them and everybody told me this across the board. Everybody on their team is going out of their way to help you, and not just on the golf course, but like in everything. Like my pants were half unzipped, and the guys told me, they obviously didn't have to do that. But anyway, it just friendly, generous to the point of ridiculous, and obviously that's more so with Callaway, but Team THP. I think I was one person who didn't bring gifts for everyone else on the team and like Team Callaway, so it just kind of reinforces that I'm a selfish ass. But I think everybody knew that, and it was just it was just amazing. But day one, the product presentation blew my mind. Like, there's some stuff coming, guys. The under embargo equipment, as it was, that is really special. I mean, it's a true leap forward, not a hop, not a skip, but like a leap. Like it's a big deal. So I think there's going to be some great stuff, and I think that I won't say it'll beat your gamer, but I'd give it a try. I'd give it a try, test it, hit a demo day, go to a fitting, whatever you can do, go give it a shot, because I think that you're gonna love it. I think you're absolutely gonna love it. There's some superstars in the lineup, and then there are some rock solid, just grinded out workhorses in there. And then there's anyway, but moving on to day two, the fitting, the knowledge, the expertise, and the ability to parlay that information to anyone from, myself. I consider myself pretty much a geary guy, to like a Cody, like a Templeton 80, who is just a junkie. I mean, he is a junkie. He knows his stuff. He knows swing weights. He knows all, lead tape. I mean, he's just sick with it. To Marjorie, Packers girl, who is, much more novice in terms of that. She loves the game, but she's not, worrying about the swing weight of her sand wedge. It's she's out there to have fun, and I sincerely hope she did. And I'm sure she did, actually. It's kind of impossible not to. But it was just really amazing. And the putting studio is the most fun place on the planet. It's like Disneyland for putters. And I would have loved to have shared a lot of the photos and that I could there. It was just, it's so cool. And then it's looking out over the ECPC guys are out there, puring it, just ridiculous. But the full club fitting, it was amazing to look over, and there's me and 3 other hackers, and then behind me is like high level juniors, like, kids that are plus handicaps at 13, 14, 15, 16 years old. And so kind of a real interesting dynamic of they're working with them who their swings are just pure, and then me who my swing is pure blank. And but it was the product in hand made the presentation, which was mind blowing, be like, oh yeah, it's real. Then the drive out, the bus ride, I did a little, pilgriming. I kind of ran around, and then I kind of picked a spot, and I stayed within probably about 4-6 seats in the back, and kind of let other people come and go, and camped out near the bathroom, which unfortunately everybody had to use at some point, and just got to kind of have some great conversations, particularly with Ethanator, and my dog, Kevin, Say What. And we got into some real interesting things, like, Tupac and his impact on STEM in modern America. What he could have done better, what we could have done better for him, but we're getting deep and I'm getting long anyway. But just, it was a great time. Just a great time to, again, that camaraderie that I mentioned earlier, just to kind of build that amongst our team, which we had going in, but obviously we went from, we're tight to we're tight. And then the Team Callaway guys, just everybody is just like I use this word too often, they're just a beauty. Like, they're just a beautiful person. Most of them are very handsome, but just like, inside. And anyway, it was just great. And then we go to Al's house, and it just, you're at 12 out of 10 and you go to 18 or 25. The scale jumps were incredible. And Al's house it's not the biggest thing you've ever seen, but it is beautiful, and everything in that house is purposefully designed. Like, it's like Callaway products. It's engineered for a specific purpose, and it's not overly engineered. There's nothing there that doesn't need to be there. And I would say that about every single person that was there. No one was there that didn't need to be there, even though I felt like it the entire night. Like, I don't know what I'm bringing to this party, because it's got everything and everyone that should be here. But it was just awesome. It was just a great time, and things got real. There was some real discussions for one of our brothers, and it was a special moment, and I'm having a hard time not crying right now. And crazily, that's been something that's happened a few times this week, where it's just kind of spontaneous emotion. But it was just a wonderful night, and just beautiful setting, and it was just kind of, I don't know, it felt like you're in the Garden of Eden, and the golf course was the apple, and you knew it was over there, and it's like, which hole is this now? And even though you couldn't see it at night, because it's the desert, it's just pitch black, knowing what was coming was amazing. And then went back to the hotel, and it's going to shut it down early. I think we got back about 10:30, and the Menace, Dennis the Menace, El Scrapo, just kept on plying a few of us. Johnny Wonder sat with us and talked for, I don't know, an hour and a half, just telling us tour stories and how he got there, how his journey into golf, his journey with Callaway, how he got to Callaway from his beginnings in golf. He's a fascinating guy. And I've enjoyed his videos for a while, but this was just like the personal connection, and how that's just him. He's just a guy. There's no ego or persona to it. He just is a massive gearhead junkie to like the nth degree, and he loves to talk about it. And whether that's with Henrik Stenson or Mancest, at a Courtyard Marriott. Like he did. Let's talk gear. Like if you dig golf and I dig golf, let's do it. So that was just cool. But I think about 1:30, 2 o'clock, we headed to bed, and the alarm at 6 o'clock was pretty early. But you only live once, and you only have the granddaddy once, unless you're an ASCAP. And congratulations to Chris. You deserve it, brother. You're gonna kill it. Sean set the bar pretty high, but I'm sure you're gonna live up to it, if not surpass it. So go to work. And then getting out there and seeing everything, seeing the course. It looks fake, man. It's just everything you see looks fake. But then when you hit some shots where you shouldn't, and you touch the flowers, and it's like, oh yeah, no, this is all real. Like somebody, and then you see, you get around a hole, like snap hook one or two on the first few holes and almost hurt people working. That was fun. But Hibbler and I were paired together. The captain took one for the team and played with me the first day, and we ran up against a buzzsaw. Austin and Zach were just machines. Zach made 4 birdies and Austin made 6, and that was only in the 15 holes, 15 holes, I think, that we played competitively, because they closed us out 4-2 and 2-1, I think. So honestly, was kind of surprised we kept as close as we did, with how just ridiculously good they played. But it was fun. It was just a fun day. And then, heading to dinner that night and just having a blast. The pairings, I mentioned this before, but I definitely wanted to play with Luke on this trip. If you would ask me, do you want him for singles? I would have said no. I want backup. I want somebody to have my back, because he is rock solid. I mean, in all aspects of the game, he obviously can putt. He's Odyssey through and through. He can roll it, and he did. But he's also long off the tee. He hits his irons solid, and short game, it's all there. That's why he's a 1 handicap. And I got a gift on the first hole. We played the Clive on Thursday in singles. He plunked one in the water, like just off the go, and I yanked one left. And again, this is where luck kind of comes into it, the golf gods, whatever. I was a foot off the cart path. We hit over a tree left and couldn't see it, but luckily it was there, a foot off the cart path. If it would have hit the cart path, it was gone. We wouldn't have found it. And, I'm either at best pushing that hole or losing that hole. And that was the kind of the start. But then I played really, really solid. The under embargo driver was legit. Straighter, longer than what I've been playing. Epic Max LS, so obviously really old product, 2020. But just solid, or 2021 product release. So yeah, really old. But yeah, just was, I think I missed 2 fairways all day, maybe 3. But if the 2 one of them was in a bunker left, the other 2 were in the rough on the right, by a couple yards. So just ridiculous performance. I thought I shot an 81. I actually shot an 80, because what I thought was a 5 was actually a 4 on the card. But yeah, so Luke shot 39. If we do, the without finishing to post on the front, he shot 38 on the front. I shot 39, and he had to give me 5 strokes. So that's kind of tough to beat, when you're giving away 5 strokes and a guy was only 1 behind you gross. He made 9 pars in a row and didn't win a hole. And Fuffle and Zach were doing their thing, and so I just kind of was focused. I was still having a blast, and Luke was daggering me the whole time. With, what is this, man? I played with you in 2019. I thought this was going to be a cakewalk, and I was very lucky to pull it out. It came down to 4 holes. The first par 3 I mentioned, another par 3 where He left the birdie putt short, and then he went back and rolled it again and jarred it. I got a half there. And then the last par 3 of the day, where he pulled one left into some nastiness and hit a beautiful shot to get it on the green, and I think it was probably 15, 20 feet. And I had like 8 and on the same similar line, and his putt just curled around a little long, makes the 4. I hit a putt, and it doesn't break, and then it snaps about a foot at the end. And actually, if this is the golf hole, it came in this, coming this direction. It went around and came back down into the hole, like at a 1 o'clock. Like Luke was like turned his head and started walking back because we were a little behind. It was going to be like, that's good, pick up the 4 and let's move on. And it dropped, and that took me to a dormy lead, and then push the next hole, and I had a win, man, and against a legit legend in Luke Williams. So that was just awesome. And then we had to pack up and say our goodbyes, and with Al, and I went to say thank you to him and started to cry because words can't express the gratitude, and anyway, I need to wrap this up. I'm like 10 minutes over projected time. So the bus ride back was similar to the first one. I mean, there wasn't as much excitement. Like, everybody going out had anticipation. On the way back, there was a lot more exhaustion. Like, guys are just kind of coming down a little bit. But it was still just super fun, and just chats, different conversations, getting to learn stuff. Like, again, Templeton, man, is the most interesting man on THP. Like, if Dos Equis was smart, they would hire him to be their new spokesman, even though he doesn't drink. He doesn't drink. Just just not my thing. And he looks like a movie star, and I'm like talking about, I wish I would have traveled more internationally, lived abroad. And he's like, oh yeah, that's why I lived in Taiwan for 2 years and learned how to speak Cantonese. What? The long drive guy who was a college wrestler also speaks Cantonese? Like, I mean, I felt inadequate already. Thanks, man. Really appreciate it. But anyway, but he's just a super cool guy. So again, it was just that type of stuff, just having BSing and having a great time. And they bought us Chick-fil-A. It was the best Chick-fil-A sandwich I've ever had. Maybe the best chicken sandwich I've ever had. We were all starving, and just it was just wonderful. Then, packing up our stuff, and it was kind of a rush to, those guys need to get home. JB is dead. I mean, he's it was midnight back home, and he's usually up at 3:30 in the morning or whatever, posting on THP. So he was beat down, and so we were trying to hustle up, help them with the logistics of what bags are staying, what's going, whose is who, so my bag doesn't get sent to goalie, his doesn't get sent to scrap, whatever. And so kind of a mad dash to do that, so we get out of there, then head back to the hotel and try and get checked in. And everybody's like, oh, well, it'll be a quick night, we're gonna call it early, everybody's exhausted, some early times tomorrow. And then we end up sitting down, and guess who comes out to do some laundry but old Johnny Wonder. And it was just kind of a lovely bookmark to the trip that the first night he shows up and he regales us, and then the last night he shows up and he regales us with more stories and answers questions and just gets into a lot of stuff, mostly golf, some other stuff too, but just kind of just awesome discussion, just really fascinating and fun stuff for all of us. And then we all finally started kind of petering out and saying goodbye. You could tell it was one of those things where like, I felt awful for poor Brian. He had to get up he had like a 4 o'clock pickup. Like, he was getting picked up at like 4:15. So he's getting up at, he probably gets up at like 3 anyway at his age. But sorry, buddy, I had to take the shot. But he didn't want to leave. It was one of those where it's like, I don't want to be the first guy to leave the party. Like, I just want to stay here and be with my family a little longer. And so that was hard. That was the first start of like the come down. We were at the heights of heaven. We were Icarus, and now we're we flew a little, not too close to the sun, and got beat 19-5, and scroll back down to real life, going back. But, you know, better to have loved and lost than never loved at all, right? And it's just amazing. That's what I can say. This is unfortunately a quick recap for me. I'm over 20 minutes. I'm going to shut it down now and see how long this takes me to get uploaded onto YouTube and sent over. And I'll hopefully start checking in, reading up on the thread, and get back to any questions and comments I missed that anybody needs updates on. And then this weekend, get some photos and maybe some videos of the Ogio backpack we got, some of the other stuff, the clothing, the Travis Matthew, the Quaders. You know, there's a lot of stuff we can talk about before embargo lifts. So stay tuned. This thread and some other threads will be popping up very soon if they haven't already, if other guys haven't beat me to it. So stay tuned. There's a lot more to come. And then when the new year comes, man, 2023 is going to be straight fire. Just straight fire. I'm just so pumped. Just so pumped. So anyway, thank you. If you made it this far, you're a saint.